the chip on the Māori shoulder it's bigger than the Grand Canyon. It's bigger than the gap that's behind me that I drove up from Auckland today, is real in terms of why are 60% of the inmates in prisons Māori? Why are the reoffending and that so high? Pretty much every object that KPI, the Māori, we perform poorly, and that absolutely has to do with how this country was set up, which was no different. I guess the thing is with Māori is what we will say is the coloniser tried to conquer us. They failed. We're still here 183 years later. It's not great, but we are still here. So as much as they would have liked to have rinsed our DNA out of society, it's here and it's going to be here in another 2,000 years. But I guess the key question is, how do we make this work? It's like there's no point, saying, well, okay, thank you, James Cook, for bringing syphilis to New Zealand. We really thank you for colonising us in this way. But it's like, no, we do have to let that stuff go. And so we're in 2023 today. And, another thing we touched on offline is just a lack of vision about what New Zealand looks like in 20 years and 40 years and 60 years. You ain't hearing it out of anyone in Wellington. Not at all. And I worry about that because I've got a 20 and a 24-year-old son. And I think, what picture do they see? What picture? And right now, if you listen to that lot down there, they don't care about tax cuts or subsidies or whatever. They actually want a place that they're proud to call their own. And I think that we're at risk of losing that.
When you say they, who are you talking about? Sorry, I misunderstood
that
last bit.
In terms of losing?
Yeah. Are you talking about the politicians? Or
No. So they, the politicians, there's 120 of them down in Wellington, right? If you met them all and you think, you're running the country? So they is the rest of us.
Okay.
So,
right, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so it's the team of 5 mil minus 120 politicians, sort of. Yeah. Because it's like, if you talk politics, right, it's still that old ingrained left versus right. If you're on the left, you must be sort of like come from bloodlines of communists and socialists. And if you're on the right sort of thing, you're some sort of privilege. It's not. It's the top and the bottom. It's the haves and the have-nots. The left and right's gone. We've seen this wealth divide open up right in front of our eyes. So on our watch, we're not leaving this place in good shape. And that's the bit that concerns me, is what point do we step in and goes, enough. We don't want a civil war. But I believe that if we don't do something in our lifetime, we're going to see that sort of disruption.